Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are doing wonder. Today we are going to continue with the same topic probability which we have discussed already in the last session. I hope you are sharing these videos to your friends, family and relative and definitely do like all these videos so that I'll feel motivated and I'll make more and more video. Okay, so please subscribe my channel, press the bell icon button and do not forget to like the video and of course you have to share it to the others as well. Okay, so let's start with the same topic probability. We have to continue the same concept. In the last session, we have just discussed the basic terminologies for the probability topic. That means what are the random experiment, what random experiment is going to give us the different outcomes. So all possible outcomes we have discussed in different type of experiment like rolling one die, two die, three die and tossing one coin, two coin, three coin and drawing any of the card from the pack of 52 cards. Everything we have seen in detail. In today's session, we will be discussing different types of events and we will discuss the problems as well. Okay, so event that means whatever the experiment is happening, जो भी हम experiment कर रहे हैं, whether we are tossing one coin. So while tossing the coin, we are aware about the total number of outcome. So total number of outcome we all know without looking, just we have to see what experiment we are doing and we can list out the sample space, we can list out all possible outcome, total number of outcome, right? But which is the favorable one that has to be mentioned in the question. Exactly उसमें से क्या आएगा, जैसे head और tail आ सकता है, but exactly head आएगा या tail आएगा, that we can't say. Now if we have to find the probability, what we will be doing in that case, we simply have to look what is the favorable event has been discussed in the question. जो हमको लेकर आना है according to the question, if we have to find the probability after tossing a coin or rolling a die, if we have to see getting 4 after rolling the die getting 4, what probability we will be having. So in that case, we will be first listing out all possible outcome and 4 is located at how many faces. 4 is placed on how many faces of the dice. Accordingly, we will be counting the number of favorable outcome. We will be listing out the favorable outcome wherever we are getting and then we will be counting it and that favorable outcome is nothing but the event for us. Okay. So you will understand in more better way when we'll see the questions here. So rolling a die, we know that rolling a die is going to give us the sample space, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of these 6 numbers, any of the number can come at the top after rolling a die out of this 6 number. Now events are, if we are looking for the favorable one, that we want the multiple of 2 or we can say even number or multiple of 2, right? So what multiples of 2 we have here? We have 2, 4, 6. So 2, 4, 6 will be called the event 1, all possible, not all possible, favorable outcome. For the event 1, what are the favorable outcome? जैसे 2 आएगा, that time also we will win. We will follow the probability problem. If 4 we get, that time also it's an even number. If we are getting 6, that time also it's an even number. So if we calculate, if we count all of them, how many numbers are in favor to be an even number? How many numbers are there such type of, if we roll a die? So 3 numbers are there. So favorable event 1, favorable outcome for the event 1 is going to be how many we have? 3 are there. 3 numbers are even number when we roll a dice, right? So this is nothing but the favorable outcome. Here we are listing out the favorable outcome. Okay, so favorable outcome for the event 1 we have 2, 4, 6 and how many are there? That means number of favorable outcome for the event 1. Event 1 was getting the even number after rolling a dice. Same way we can find out for the event 2 also. Event 2 is getting odd number, right? Now this is the event 2. In this case also we have to list out the all possible outcome for favorable outcome for the event 2. So what favorable outcome we are going to have for the odd number event? So 1, 3, 5, these three numbers will be the favorable outcome member. What are the favorable outcome? 1, 3, 5. And how many members are there when we look for the odd number list after rolling a die? So number of favorable outcome for the event 2 is also 3, right? Similarly, we can discuss event 3, event 4, whatsoever it is. Now, if we have to find out the probability for any of the event, how do we write it? Probability of event. E means event. Whether it is in one question itself, they can give you different event, 3 to 4 events they can give you. Like getting find out the probability for even number, odd number, for prime number, for composite number, for anything, right? So in one question itself, multiple events can be discussed. So probability of any of the event is favorable outcome. Not favorable outcome. We don't have to write down the favorable outcome. We have to give the number of favorable outcome. So number of favorable outcome divided by the total number of outcome, or all possible outcome, number of total possible outcome. So total number of outcome, right? In short, mathematically, how can we write down the probability for any of the event? For any of the event, the probability formula is number of favorable outcome for the event. So n of e, whatever the event, we will be first listing out all the favorable outcome, and then we will be counting it, how many members are there in the favorable outcome list, and then that count will be written in place of the numerator. And the denominator, that day also we have discussed number of all possible outcome, number of total possible outcome. So total possible outcome, n of s we represent here. So in this, number of all possible outcomes are 6. If we roll only one dice, if we roll two dice, that time 6 is square. So 36 was there, right? So probability for the event 1. Let me write down the probability for the event 1 here itself. Out of 6, how many favorable outcomes are there? 3, in which we are getting the even number only. 2, 4, 6. These three numbers are going to will be the even number, and then they will be coming into the category of event 1. So 3 divided by 6 is nothing but 1 by 2. Similarly, we can look for the second one also. Here, probability for the event 2 is also going to be 3 upon 6, because 3 odd numbers are there. Out of these 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 of them are odd, 1, 3, 5. So 3 upon 6 is again going to give us 1 by 2, right? So this is the formula. In mathematical notation, we can write it as probability of event equals to number of favorable outcomes for the event divided by the number of all possible outcomes. Okay. So denominator is just the way we have done that day, and the numerator is the extra task which we have to learn today. Okay. Now, if we have to look for the event 3, which is a prime number. Okay. Another example, prime number. So what prime numbers are there? The prime numbers are favorable outcomes will be the prime number. We all know prime number means which has exactly 2 factors. So 1 has 2 factors? No, 1 has only 1 factor. 2 has 2 factors. 3 has 2 factors. 5 also has 3 factors, right? So these 3 numbers are there which are the prime number. If these 3 numbers we have, then what is going to be the probability for the event 3? Because number of favorable outcome for the event 3, we have 3 only. So 3 upon 6, here also we get the answer 1 by 2, right? Similarly, we can find out for different cases, we can discuss our own event. Event 4 is prime odd number. Prime number भी होना चाहिए, odd number भी होना चाहिए. So prime number we all have seen just now. 2, 3, 5. These 3 numbers are prime number. But out of these 3, 2 is not an odd number. It's an even number. So we have to exclude this 2 from the group, from the members of favorable outcome event for the event 4. So event 4 is not going to have 2 with us. It will be only having such prime number which are odd. So 3 and 5, these 3 numbers 1 is also an odd number, but that is not the prime number. So we have to check the numbers, only those numbers will be returned which are prime as well as odd. So 3 and 5, how many favorable outcomes are there for the event 4? Only 2 favorable outcomes. It will not be always कि सबका आंसर सेम आ रहा है 1/2 1/2 1/2. No, that depends on that event, what type of event it is. Now let's check here probability for the event 4, which is prime odd number. So out of 6, there are 2 favorable members in the event 4. Only 2 of them are there. So 2 divided by 6, 2 upon 6 gives me 1 upon 3. So this way we can find out the probability for any specific given event which is the favorable event. Okay. So it is not like कि एक क्वेश्चन में एक ही इवेंट गिवन होगा. It may be 2 or 3 events are given. It may be many more events are given for that particular problem. Okay, we just have to list out the favorable outcome for each and every event individually, and then we will be counting it, and that gives us the number of favorable outcome for that particular event, and then we will be writing the denominator, which gives us the probability for that event. Okay, now let's talk about the complementary event. What is complementary event? So rolling a die and getting 5 and its complement. So first of all, एक die को roll कर रहे हैं, that means sample space would be 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so number of all possible outcomes we can fix from here. 6 it is. Now the event is, what is the event? Here only one event has been discussed, so I am writing event. You can just write E for that event. Getting 5. So getting 5 has been mentioned only on one face. 5 डॉट पूरे डायस में एक ही फेस पर होते हैं. एक फेस पर 1 डॉट होता है, somewhere we have 2 dot, another face we have 3 dot, another face we have 4 dots, then 5 dots and 6 dots. So 5 we are getting only on one face. So this is the favorable outcome, right? We have to give the count of the favorable outcome, that is 1. 5 we are getting only on one face, right? So probability for the event which is getting 5 will be 1 upon 6. Now what is the complement? Complement मतलब अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे getting 5. So complement of this event will be getting not 5. 5 नहीं मिलना चाहिए. अभी हमको probability चाहिए थी कि 5 आने के क्या chances है. Now we want to find out the probability 5 नहीं आने के chance क्या है. Okay? Does not get 5. So complementary event is just opposite of the given event. Complement event is opposite of given event. Okay. So what will be the complement of getting 5? Complement of getting 5 is not getting 5. हमको 5 नहीं मिलना चाहिए. Not getting 5. सो 5 नहीं मिले तो क्या क्या मिल सकता है? फेवरेबल आउटकम की लिस्ट में हमको क्या कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा? दिस इज द इवेंट 2 आई एम कंसिडरिंग. फॉर दैट आई एम मेकिंग द लिस्ट ऑफ फेवरेबल आउटकम. सो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू कम इनटू द फेवरेबल आउटकम फॉर गेटिंग नॉट गेटिंग 5? सो 5 नहीं आएगा तो क्या आ सकता है? 1 आ सकता है, डाइस को रोल करने पर 2 भी आ सकता है, 3 4 6 भी आ सकता है, 7 आ सकता है. नो, 7 we can't get because 7 is not mentioned on any of the face. किसी फेस पर 7 marked up होता ही नहीं है, right? So 5 नहीं आए, ये चलेगा हमको. 5 के अलावा कुछ भी आ जाए. Like when we play snake and ladder game, हमको need है कि दिख रहा है कि 5, if we get 5 points, then we'll sit at that box where snake is sitting. So we request that सब आ जाए but 5 नहीं आए, right? हो सकता है जो हमको चाहिए वो भी ना आए, बट 5 भी नहीं आए. वी जस्ट प्रे टू द गॉड कि 5 नहीं आना चाहिए. सो नॉट गेटिंग 5, दैट मीन्स 5 के अलावा कुछ भी आ सकता है. 1 2 3 4 6 इन दैट डायस, वॉट एवर द नंबर हैज बीन मार्क्ड, एवरीथिंग कैन कम एक्सेप्ट 5. सो number of favorable outcome for the event 2 which is not getting 5 is 5. 1 2 3 4 5. सो 5 के केस में 5 ही आ गया है, ऐसा नहीं है. यहां पर अगर आप 7 ले लो, नो सो सॉरी नॉट 7, इफ यू आर टेकिंग 1 नॉट गेटिंग टू, टू नहीं आना चाहिए, तो टू नहीं आए तो क्या हो जाएगा उसके लिए, टू नहीं आए दैट मीन्स टू आए और टू नहीं आए, सो टू आने के चांस क्या हो गए, टू आने के चांस ओनली 1/6 because only one face has been marked, getting probability of getting 2 is 1/6. I have just mentioned the number. Now probability of not getting 2 will be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many numbers are there which are not 2? 5 numbers are there which are not 2. So probability for not getting 2 is event 2 I am writing. So this will be 5/6. So probability of getting 2 and probability of not getting 2. This is the complementary event. Event and complementary event will be E dash or E bar. We represent it into this way. This is the symbol for complementary event. So whatever the event we have, like probability of getting 5, okay? If I find the probability of getting not getting 5, probability of not getting 5 is also going to be 5/6 because other than 5 there are 5 numbers which can come, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, these 5 numbers can come. So probability, this will be the event 3 I am considering. So probability of event 1 and probability of event 3 is always 1. The sum of the complementary probability is always 1. जो complement probability होती है एक दूसरे की, what is the sum there? The sum is probability of any event and probability of any complementary event, we can write E dash also here, will be always 1. Sum of the probability of any event and its complementary event is always 1. You can check. Probability of getting 5 was 1/6. Probability of not getting 5 was 5/6. When you take the sum here, this gives you 6/6, which is nothing but 1. Right? So it's so interesting. Let's move to the next topic where we have to discuss the another event, tossing two coins together. So tossing two coins together, we will be discussing elementary event. So before we discuss this here, let's look to the events which are given. Event 1, this is event 2, this is event 3, and this is event 4. Right? So first, list out the sample space. टॉसिंग टू कॉइन्स, दो कॉइन को टॉस कर रहे, हो सकता है दोनों पे हेड आ जाए या तो दोनों पे टेल आ जाए. फर्स्ट वाला कॉइन इज गिविंग अस द हेड एंड द सेकंड कॉइन इज गिविंग अस द टेल. फर्स्ट कॉइन इज गिविंग अस द टेल एंड द सेकंड कॉइन इज गिविंग अस द हेड. So total 4 possible outcomes are there. How many possible outcomes are there? 4. Now out of 4, we are discussing which event that needs to be checked here. So getting two head, we are getting only in one case. So number of, first I will be writing two head, that means double H. दोनों कॉइन पर हेड आना चाहिए. तो ऐसे कितने केसेस में हो रहा है? आउट ऑफ 4 ओनली वन केस इज देयर वेयर वी आर गेटिंग टू हेड्स. सो नंबर ऑफ favorable outcome for event 1 or number of getting two heads is 1. So probability for the event 1 is 1/4. Getting two tail we will be getting exactly again the same case. Probability number of favorable outcome for the event 2 is 1 again, and the probability of event 2 is going to be 1/4. Right? Next is first coin should give us the tail and the second coin should give us the head. So tail head combination, tail head, not head tail. It is clearly mentioned कि first वाले coin पर tail होना चाहिए, on the second coin we should have head. So tail head combination we want. So that means it happens only in one case for the event 3. So probability for the event 3 is also going to be 1/4. Similarly, first should be the head one. First coin should give us the head result and the second coin should give us the tail result. So number of favorable outcome for the event 4 is 1 again, and probability for the event 4 is 1/4. Right? So elementary event is nothing but sum of probability of elementary event. वो सारे event जिन सब की probability का sum करके हमको 1 मिल रहा है. Look, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4 will be called elementary event of each other. कि ये हो रहा है. Then the other thing is that was the complementary case कि ये हो रहा है, अब ये नहीं होना चाहिए. So just opposite of it. But this is not opposite. Getting two head, getting two tail, one head, one tail, first head, second tail, first tail, second head. These are four different varieties or four different members of these all possible outcome of this sample space, right? So that is why the sum of all elementary events will always be 1. So when we find out the sum of all elementary events, event 1 probability, when we find out the sum of probability for all the events, for all the elementary events, will be giving us the 1 here. So probability for the event 1 plus probability for the event 2 plus probability for the event 3 and 4 will be having 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 everywhere, because the probability is exactly same. That is why they are the elementary event. So 4 by 4 will give us 1 here. So sum is going to be 1. Okay. So this is so easy. We simply have to check what event has been given in the question. The denominator will be always same in each case. The different event is going to change the numerator, and then we will be getting the different answer for the probability. Okay. Now the next thing is we have to discuss tossing two coin. Again the same example we have taken, tossing two coins. So two heads are there, two tails we may get. First one is head, second one is tail. First one is tail, second one is head, right? So likewise we can fix the total number of possible outcomes. All possible outcomes, how many are there? 4 are there, right? Now getting two heads, दो head आने चाहिए. Getting two heads it is written. So two heads, that means H. This is the event 1. This is the event 2. This is the event 3, right? So getting two heads, that means the number of favorable outcome for the event 1, which is getting two heads. What numbers we have? Only 1. So probability for getting two heads or probability for first event is 1 upon 4. Now at least two tail. Now this word plays very important role here. At least. What is the meaning of at least? So at least is कम से कम. In what do we call it? कम से कम, right? So कम से कम टू टेल आने चाहिए. कम से कम टू तो आने ही चाहिए. टू से कम वाले नहीं चलेंगे. Like one tail जहां पर है वो हम कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे. We won't be considering any of the outcome where we have zero tail, where we have one tail. We have to have only those outcomes in the favorable outcome list where we should have at least two tails. दो tail तो होने चाहिए. So if wherever we are getting two tails or more than two tails, we will be listing out all those outcomes in the favorable outcome for the event 2 where it is at least two tails. So at least two tails, that means minimum two tails होने चाहिए. Zero tail, one tail won't work here. So zero tail, one tail won't work here. Minimum two tails we want. So two tails we are getting. Maximum it can be three tail, four tail, but that will be not at all possible. Why? Because it's two coins only. We have taken only two coins. We have not taken more than two coins. So it won't be possible to have three tails together. So maximum we will be having two tails here because two coins are there. If we have three coins and the question is like at least two tails. So in that case, we will be listing out those results also here in the favorable outcome for the event 2, which type of two tails we should have there. I'll show you that example also. So two tails, we have number of favorable outcome for the event 2 is 1 here. So probability for the event 2 is going to be 1 upon 4. Now at most two head. At most two head मतलब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा दो head होने चाहिए. Maximum two head. Maximum two head. तो दो हेड से ज्यादा वाले बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगी. We can have two head, we can have one head, we can have zero head also. बट 2 हेड से ज्यादा जहां पर भी अवेलेबल है, वी हैव टू एक्सक्लूड दोज मेंबर्स इनटू द लिस्ट ऑफ फेवरेबल आउटकम फॉर द इवेंट 3. सो मैक्सिमम 2 हेड, दैट मीन्स 0 हेड चलेगा, 1 हेड भी चलेगा, 2 हेड भी चलेगा, राइट. सो व्हाट फेवरेबल आउटकम्स वी हैव हियर? 0 हेड. 0 head we have where we have 2 tails. 1 head will be head tail, tail head, and 2 heads, 2 heads. That means इसमें तो सारे ही आ गए, पूरा का पूरा सैंपल स्पेस ही आ गया. सो सच टाइप ऑफ एग्जाम्पल्स ऑल्सो वी मे गेट कि जहां पर सारे के सारे आ जाए. ओके, सो how many number of favorable outcome for the event 3? How many are there? 4 are there. So the probability for the event 3 will be 4 upon 4, which is 1, right? So this way we can look for any of the problem. This at least and at most, I'll show one more example where we have 3 coins. So if we are tossing 3 coins together, we may get 3 heads, या तो तीनों टेल हो जाएंगे, राइट, या तो 2 हेड 1 tail. First head and the last one is also head. In between we are getting the tail on the second coin. First one is tail, middle and last one is head. We may have 2 tails together and 1 head. We may have first and the last tail and middle one is head. We may have first head and 2 tails at the last 2 coins. Okay. So number of all possible outcomes we have 8, which can be found with the help of 2 to the power n, also 2 to the power 3, because 3 coins we have used. Now the first probability, first event 1 is at least 2 head. 2 head तो होना ही चाहिए, minimum 2 head we want. So minimum 2 head we are getting here and at this place. Minimum 2 head. Do we have 2 heads here? No, no, no. Do we have any head here? No. So minimum 2 head मतलब 2 head होना चाहिए, मिनिमम 2 हेड चाहिए. सो 2 हेड चलेंगे, 2 से ज्यादा भी चलेंगे, बट 2 से कम जहां पर भी हेड है, वी डोंट हैव टू इंक्लूड दोज एलिमेंट्स हियर इन द फेवरेबल आउटकम लिस्ट. सो इन द फेवरेबल आउटकम लिस्ट वी हैव टू इंक्लूड दिस ऑल्सो, बिकॉज मिनिमम 2 हेड वी वॉन्ट. मैक्सिमम की कोई उन्होंने लिमिट नहीं दी है. वी मे हैव 3, 4, 5 heads, but it won't be possible to have 4 and 5 heads because only 3 coins are there. So maximum 3 heads ही हो सकते हैं. So this will be the favorable outcome. Triple H, 2 heads, 1 tail, 2 heads, 1 tail, first tail, last 2 are head. Likewise 4. So for the event 1, the number of favorable outcomes are 4. So out of 8, probability for the event 1 is going to be 4 upon 8, which is 1 by 2. Now the next example is event 2, which is at most 2 tails. At most 2 tail. Maximum 2 tail we want. At most means maximum 2 tail. 2 tail maximum चाहिए, 2 tail से ज्यादा नहीं चलेगी. That means 0 tail, 1 tail, 2 tail will work here. We want 0 tail भी चलेगा, 1 tail भी चलेगा, 2 tail भी चलेगा, but 2 tail से ज्यादा वाला नहीं चलेगा, right? So exactly the same example was there before also, but there the sample space was having only 4 elements. Here we have 8 members. So at most 2 tail, that means maximum 2 tail. So maximum 2 tail we are getting. 0 tail वाले सारे लिस्ट आउट करने पड़ेंगे, that means triple H. 1 tail is these are, right? Double HT, THT, sorry, T double H and HTH. Now these are the 1 tail one. 1 tail वाले आउटकम हो गए. Now 2 tail. 2 tail we are getting these 3 places. 2 tail maximum 2 tail. 3 tail नहीं चलेगा. That means इसको छोड़ के सब चलेगा. इसको छोड़ के सारे चलेंगे. ट्रिपल टी जो है उसको छोड़ दो. Exclude triple T and then you can look for the rest of the outcome. So double TH, THT and HTT, right? So total 7 number of favorable outcome for the event 2 will be 7. So probability for the event 2 is 7 upon 8, right? So 1 by 2 is the probability for the event 1, which was at least 2 head, and here it is at most 2 tail. I hope it's clear to everyone, right? Let's move to the next topic in which we have to discuss the impossible event, certain or sure event कि हमको पता है कि ये तो आएगा ही आएगा. Like we are 100% sure. So probability is going to be 100% in that case, of course. Impossible event will be 0%. Like suppose we wants to roll the dice, okay? And getting 7. After rolling the dice, if he wants to get 7, will it be possible? Of course not, because we know dice में तो 6 face होते हैं और 6 numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6. तो नंबर ही अगर 6 के बाद में है ही नहीं, so 6 से बड़ा कोई भी नंबर आ जाए, we won't be able to find out, means the probability for that particular event will be 0 if it is greater than 1. So impossible event, जो इवेंट हमको पता है कि इसके पॉसिबल आउटकम्स में वो है ही नहीं, सो फॉर दैट विल बी इम्पॉसिबल इवेंट, राइट? सो रोलिंग डायस, rolling a dice and getting greater than 6, so probability for this event is going to be 0, and that event will be called the impossible event. All those certain event, the probability has to be 100%, or we can say 1, right? So 1 or 100%, because 100 upon 100 is also 1. So such an event like rolling a dice and getting, this is the event I am discussing, so getting less than 6, so sorry, less than equals to 6, डायस को रोल करूं और मुझे ऐसा नंबर रिजल्ट में मिले जो कि 6 से छोटा या उसके बराबर हो. So the number should be smaller than or equals to 6. And all the numbers are smaller than equals to 6. 1 is also smaller than 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them are smaller than 6. 6 is equals to 6. So probability will be, probability for this particular event, which is the event 2. So probability for the event 2 will be 6 upon 6, which is 1. So wherever the answer for the probability is 1, that means that's the certain event. For sure it is going to happen. Like let's say we have taken 2 coins and we stick the head faces of the coin. यहाँ का head face, यहाँ का head face, दोनों को हमने stick कर दिया. Now the opposite faces are showing up tail only. So if I toss the coin, I'll definitely going to have tail only. Tail ही आएगा क्योंकि दोनों faces पे tail है, मैंने तो head side को चिपका दिया है, right? So that will also be the certain event. Getting head in that case, if I stick the coin from the head side और अब मैं expect कर रही हूँ कि head आ जाए, it won't be possible. That will be the impossible event. Possible ही नहीं होगा क्योंकि मैंने head side को तो चिपका दिया, head faces I stick to each other. Now probability range. If you observe all the examples, whatever you were getting, 1 by 2, 7 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 6, you are getting the idea about the probability कि probability की value for the certain event it can be maximum 1. For sure 100% chance है कि यही आएगा, right? After writing the exam, if you have attempted the exam at the excellence level, that means you are definitely going to pass in the exam. So you are 100% sure. So probability is 1. So maximum value for the probability can be 1. But minimum value for the probability can be 0. That means the probability lies between 0 and 1. किसी भी event की probability can never be lesser than 0. That means negative will not be allowed to have. So कहीं पर अगर लिखा है probability for this event is 5 upon what do we say 2. So that can't be possible because 5 upon 2 is not coming into this range. We want such a number which should be greater than 0 and smaller than 1, right? So probability value will lie always in between 0 to 1, because we have seen both the cases. Impossible में 0 हो सकती है, negative तो कभी नहीं हो सकती, and maximum it can vary till 1. In between 0 and 1 there are multiple numbers, rational numbers, which can be considered here. 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 7, 1 by 6, 1 by 9, 5 by 7, whatever it is, right? So probability range depends always on this particular number 0 and 1. It will always lies in between 0 and 1. Okay. I hope you have understood everything in detail. Let's look to one problem and then we'll wind up the session. In the next session, I'll have more and more practice problem for you all. Okay, so that you can practice it a lot. So look at the number shown below and answer which can be the possible value of probability. Possible value of probability क्या हो सकती है out of all these options? You have to find out because that depends on the probability range, because we know probability value can be lesser than equals to 1 and has to be greater than equals to 0. So 0 se choti, that means negatives not allowed. So minus 0.5 will not work here. So we have to look at all the number which is shown below and check can be the possible value for the probability or not. Whichever is the possible value for the probability, we'll tick on that. So 0.00001, is it lesser than 1? It lies in between 0 and 1. Of course, it lies between 0 and 1. Maximum value for the probability can be 1. 1.01? Of course not, because 1.001 or 1.01, it everything is greater than 1. 1 से बड़ा हो गया है. If it is only 1.0, then that will be the answer. But 1.0001 is also considered greater than 1. That's not 1, right? It is very close to 1, but it is greater than 1. 1 by 2, of course, this is also the probability value. This can be the possible value for the probability, right? 99%. Now, don't just check कि यहाँ तो 1 होना चाहिए. It is written in terms of percentage. 99%, that means 99 upon 100, which is 0.99, and it is in between 0 and 1. So, only these two values are not possible for the probability because one of the value is negative and other is greater than 1. Rest four options are the value for the probability. So second, third, fifth, and sixth. Second, third, fifth, and sixth, I am getting in C option. So C option shows all correct value of the probability answers, right? We can never have the probability option 1 and 4 because option 1 is lesser than 0, option 4 is greater than 1. I hope it's pretty easy to find out the probability. You just have to understand the pattern. जो भी given problem given है, first you have to list out the sample space, all possible outcome. Then give the count of it, number of total possible outcome, and then write that number. Then whatever the events has been discussed, event 1, event 2, first write event 1, its favorable outcome, and then write down number of favorable outcome for the event 1. So number of favorable outcome for the event 1, you will be counting it, write it down. Then there only you find out the probability for the event 1. As soon as you get the probability for the event 1, you are done now. You can discuss the event 2. Likewise, in step by step, you have to move. Okay. So I hope you have understood everything in detail. You just have to practice it a lot. And for that, I'll make another video in which I'll be having maximum questions for practice purpose. Okay. So until we do not meet for the next session, keep on practicing. Take care of yourself. Bye everyone.